Welcome back to the Lenz's Comic Corner, classic / non-classic. This is episode number 295, and that was number 226. Okay. Now, in this one, we have the first two volumes of the Hawkeye, volumes 1 and 2 of Hawkeye and the Thunderbolts. Now, this is a continuation of Thunderbolts Classic, which I have not reviewed yet. I might review them in the near future. But these two books are just a continuation of those two books. Now, I do have a revolving theory that this is only going to be 4 books long, and these books are thick, really thick. Now, in Volume 1, you have issues 27 to 37, Annual 2000, and Avengers Annual 2000. In Volume 2, you have Thunderbolts issues 38 to 50, and Avengers 31-34. Now, the writing for these stuff, originally you have the original writer, Kurt Busiek. He's a original writer here. He stays on the book into issue 34 before handing it off to Fabian Nicieza. Joe Casey writes a backup story in here. Now, the artwork in both of these trades are done by Mark Bagley. Yes, the guy who's done books like Hulk, Ultimate Spider-Man. Let's see, he's currently doing all new X-Men. You want to sample this guy's artwork? Here you go. This guy will remain as the artist for this book. I think he does pretty much all the issues of here. I think he does pretty much the first 75 issues. I think he skips like 1 or 2 issues, but yeah. Despite the book's change of writers, he's still the artist. Wow. So I'm thinking, artists don't usually stay as long if the writer leaves. But Mark Bagley? Yeah. He stayed on a long frickin' time. I'm not kidding about that. Now, in the Avengers trade, the Avengers issues are written by Kurt Busiek, but the artwork in those issues is done by George Perez. Now, this one picks the Rebel Thunderbolts Classic Volume 3, leaves off with Mach 1 going to jail because he committed a murder. You have Charcoal, that's this guy here on the ground. He joins Thunderbolts. Hawkeye is their leader. Also, he does something real. Also, he starts off a relationship with Moonstone in this trade. Yeah, he starts off with Moonstone. Something that Kurt Busiek comes up with. I mean, it kind of does make sense because, well, at this point, Hawkeye is a widower. Of course, it was like a retcon that was a Skrull who died, not really Mockingbird. So, in a way, he doesn't. At this point, now that was Bendis did it. Now this is before that, but yeah, he starts a relationship with Moonstone. He kisses Songbird. Well, actually, Songbird kisses him basically by mistake. And then later on, it's like Moonstone's like, I think I'll do the same thing to Clint. So, what does she do? She makes out with him and takes off her costume. And basically, when Songbird basically calls him for a meeting, there's Moonstone on top of Hawkeye, butt-ass naked. I'm not going to show it here, but yeah. It's a funny little scene. But I don't mind Moonstone hooking up with Hawkeye in here because, well, Hawkeye is single, so it kind of does make sense. But, yeah, he starts his story of redemption, which does continue in this trade here, which kind of concludes here. But there's a reason, and it's kind of a bullcrap way of how to get it. But all the issues here are really good. Heck, they even take on the Masters of Evil and win. Yes. They take on the Masters of Evil and win. Yep. So, this book, 9 out of 10. Awesome. To summarize what happens here. And this one, they have a team up with the Avengers. Take on Count Nefardia. Which also Madame Mass shows up in here. Now, they have a conversation with Henry Peter Gyrich. Also, Zemo shows up in these trades, and he's in the background. Oh, and also, there was a character known as the Ogre, who shows up, and he joins Thunderbolts as their engineer, which this Ogre is later revealed to be the Fixer, not the one from Holy Terror, not the one Daredevil fought in his debut appearance. This is the second one, Nestor. This is the one who's a bit more modern. He originally was Techno, and then he changed his name back to Fixer. He was posing as Ogre, and the real Ogre was in Cryogenic Tube. Now, who is the Ogre? he was a character who fought the X once back in the '60s, and like I bet in the he was like, no one's using this character. I'll make him a supporting character in my Thunderbolts series. Fine, perfectly fine indeed. And they conclude their story of redemption. Well, when they take on Henry Peter, kind of like Marvel's resident douchebag, and they beat him. Apparently, it's like nanites. He's trying to like start like basically Hawkeye was going to reveal what Hawkeye was up to, and then Valerie Cooper shows up. Now, I like Valerie Cooper, I really do. I do not like how Caesar writes the character, where they get the presidential parties like Hawkeye wanted to. Now, apparently, Hawkeye basically was arrested for various things, including flying a craft without an FA clearance and a bunch of other things. Much of our minor things, which does get later resolved. But apparently, the presidential pardons come with a price. They have to give up their costumes, and they have to retire. They want to become superheroes so badly, and they're forcing them to retire. That is bullcrap. Bullcrap to you, Valerie Cooper, for doing that. And I like this character, because she's written so well, and yet in the Caesar writes her like a complete jerk. Because she works for the Commission on Superhuman Activities. Yeah, a group that's been around since the 80s. And they're still around this very day. I'm not kidding. And who is the Commission on Superhuman Activities? A group of politicians who basically a bunch of dicks who basically tend to stick their nose in business stick their nose where they don't belong. And they're also the same people who forced Steve Rogers to give up his costume and have him become the captain. Though that was an awesome by Mark Greenwell back in the 80s, and I read the trade, the captain. It's an awesome storyline. But yeah, basically, think of Henry Peter Garrick extended to a group of people. That's what the Commission of Superhuman Activities is. They're a bunch of political dickheads. That's exactly what they are. They have been shown in full force a few times, but there have been representatives of the Commission of Superhuman Activities, like U.S. Agent, for example. He's been a representative for years. I think it's stretching as far back as the late 80s. He's a representative of them. Oh, yeah, and Black Widow gets, she teams up with the Thunderbolts in here. And Clint sports off a new costume in here. Let me show up in here. Yeah, he shows it off as basically as part of, that he's fully with the Thunderbolts. I'm trying to find it here. He debuts a new costume, which he'll have for the rest of the whole time he's in the book. Oh, and also, they revealed that Citizen V, who had been chasing him for a while, it's actually Dallas Reardon, who was Atlas's girlfriend. And they don't reveal exactly and they thought she was the Crimson Crow, turns out she was set up. Oh, and that's Mankiller. And she's a lesbian. I'm not kidding, she is. Also, when the Crimson Crow captured Dallas Reardon, apparently she thought it'd be a good idea to have her goons strip her butt naked. Apparently she was butt naked under that costume. I would have thought maybe she wore some underwear, but no, she decided to do that. Yep, and you have the Sandman show up in here. I'm trying to think, where is that good page here? I'm trying to show up that good page where Mark Bagley designs him a new costume. Yeah, it's part of that Hawkeye is fielding with the Thunderbolts. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Black Widow even herself briefly joins up with them. Let's see here. Yeah, and Charcoal gets a costume very similar. It has a symbol of the Champions. Yeah, they get like a flying craft that was originally meant for the Champions, but they disbanded before they can use it. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Here it is. Here's his new costume. Simply put, it's a slight alteration of his classic Jack Kirby costume, with the Thunderbolt symbol as his belt buckle. Yeah, it's pretty decent for what it is. Oh, in case you're wondering why the Fantastic Four look like this, that's the costumes they wear when they came back from Heroes Reborn. Well, one of the costumes they sport. It's a pretty nice looking outfit. One of my personal favorites. Of course, I always prefer the classic Jack Kirby costumes they got back in the '60s. But like the first book, this is really good. I give it a 9 out of 10 despite the fact the bullcrap ending of having Moonstone, Abe Jenkins, who gets released from jail, though unofficially, of course. He on the books, Abe Jenkins is still in jail, but this is a complete new guy. Apparently, they dyed his skin black, and he gets a new suit. Of course, he gets Mach 1. And simply put, it's him, Songbird, and Moonstone are forced to retire by Vela Cooper, though that's not going to last too long. Also, they have it where... this is the Fixer. Yeah, he becomes part of the Redeemers. They're kind of a semi-replacement for the Thunderbolts. They have the same ideals as Thunderbolts, but they're basically ran by Captain America once this trade is over with. But because of the fact they're forced to give up their powers, and Clint has to go to jail for some minor things. Yeah, apparently it was this guy called Jack Monroe. Scourge. Yeah, the Scourge about them here, Jack Monroe, who is the second, he's like he's the third Bucky. Yeah. So but they're stuck wearing outfits like these for the rest of the time. And of course, I should also point out that this cover right here, which is basically a cover from the trade, this cover is a homage to Thunderbolts #1. And it just... The Thunderbolts are a really awesome series, and I'm very happy Marvel decided to bring this series back after they've been gone for 2 years. Yeah, they canceled the series 2 years ago, and I'm so happy they brought it back because they should never have gotten rid of this series. Of course, the current lineup is simply the original lineup minus Zemo and Mockingbird. The only addition they throw in there is they throw in Bucky, the original Bucky, who was Winter Soldier, and that Cosmic Youth girl. Carbach, I think her name is. Yeah, there was some controversy in story around her, but she's from Standoff. But yeah, this version of the team basically came out of Standoff, but it feels very classic. Classic Nicieza and Bagley. Nicieza, actually it's classic Busick and Bagley. Now Busick, 9 out of 10. Now Busick, some people might know him currently for his run on Astral City. Yeah, his run on Astral City, which is, by the way, still going on to this very day. With him as the writer, Alex Ross doing the cover art. Yeah, it's one of 3 series he's doing the cover art for. He's doing it for that one, all no different Avengers, and of course he's doing it for Amazing Spider-Man. And it's still the same creative team, no change, and it's an awesome meta series to read. I highly recommend it. As for the Caesar, I don't think he's doing anything right now. I know Bagley's doing. I know Bagley's doing all new X-Men, but as for Bagley, as for the Caesar, I can't think of anything he's doing currently. Joe Casey, I don't think he's doing anything. But the only one doing anything right now is just Perez is doing some indie stuff. But yeah, so that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, which is episode 296 and Doubleshot 227. Okay, until then, see you there. Bye.